Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today. Coming up later on, our infamous roundtable gets together. We'll see what they have to say about a wide range of controversial topics. But between now and then, some great guests and information coming your way. For one thing, we'll tell you how just doing some simple spring cleaning around your house can benefit the entire community. Stay tuned for that and many more special guests, so I hope you'll be with us. Now, first though, I want to turn my attention to two very serious topics. Now, you're going to think they're unrelated. One is, we've had a very wet season around here, and a lot of other states have too. We had flooding and things. I want to ask about and learn about flood and flood insurance, and then I want to find out more about this distracted driving problem that's in the news. And there's one man that can help us with both of these, and he's sitting right next to me. Our good buddy, Christopher Cook, is owner of Alliance Insurance Services, Inc., and we welcome you back to the show.
Hey, Jim, awesome to be here.
We've had more than our fair share of rain and flooding this past year, so have a lot of people. So tell me why flood insurance is a good idea and what it covers.
Sure. Well, the main reason flood insurance is a good idea is unfortunately your homeowner's insurance policy does not cover flood in any form or fashion. So you're without that coverage currently. A very high percentage of flood claims actually happen in areas that are not in the flood plain, or what people deem to be flood prone areas. So
that's sort of tricky then, because you think I'm not in a floodplain, I'm okay, but then you're maybe not.
Yeah, maybe you're probably not. I was in Knoxville recently. They had 5 inches of rain in a day. I don't care how low-lying of an area you've got, 5 inches of rain in one day in a city, and Knoxville's close by to us. Speaking
of Tennessee, you know, they've had their share of problems, as you mentioned. Now, a lot of folks will say, I'm going to buy this used car, Christopher, and it's this one happens to be coming from Tennessee, or maybe it's coming from a place that's had a lot of flooding or whatever. How do I know if a car has been damaged by flooding?
You know, I think a Carfax report is the most reputable way to get that information, and that's the easiest way probably. Your independent insurance agent also can help you out by looking that information up on what we in the industry call a clue report.
Right. So if I'm doing car insurance through you anyway, I can just say, Christopher, while I'm here in the office, can you check this out?
That's correct.
All right, speaking of cars and things, let's turn to this. April, as I understand it, is National Distracted Driving Month.
That's correct.
This is a serious problem, isn't it? Distracted driving.
It's becoming a larger and larger problem every day, and as technology continues to advance, it seems to become even greater of a problem.
We're talking about talking on the phone, texting.
Yeah, texting is the one we all point our finger at. You know, I was on my way over here to see you, and somebody seemed to be reading a newspaper. That's all I can imagine they were doing with the thing wide open. So people eat in their cars, they put makeup on their cars, they read. You know, old 10 and 2 is kind of the tried and true way to
keep your hands and your eyes focused on what you need to. Now, what are you doing? I know you do a lot of community service things, but I think somebody sent me an email saying one day that you're doing something to educate people. And
yeah, we want to get the local youth involved in this initiative to try to make people aware of the distracted driving problem that we have. So we're offering a $1,000 scholarship to all local high school and college-age children whoever posts the best video on our Facebook page, our Alliance Insurance Facebook page. We're going to give them a $1,000 scholarship. Runner-up and third place will get a $250 college scholarship, so that'll help a little bit. But we're trying to get the youth involved in this initiative.
So a high school student can make a video, and ostensibly it should be serious to talk about ways to, or it could be funny.
I don't care if it's serious or if it's funny, just if it gets the message across. We've picked 4 judges. But they're going to look at it, and however they view it, we're going to give that scholarship.
And I assume they need to, and I'm going to give you your website here in just a second, but I assume they can have a deadline of this. At least probably ought to have it done by the end of April anyway, right?
That's right, April 30th
okay.
is the deadline.
And there's a bill, I'm not sure the number of it, I'm not sure any of us are, but there's a bill up in the General Assembly that's dealing with distracted driving, so I know you want people to get behind that
Yeah,
too.
I'd love folks to go to NC Hands Free Coalition, I believe it's .org, but the North Carolina Hands Free Coalition is pushing a bill that would make it illegal to drive with a cell phone in your hand, whether that's talking on the phone or texting or, you know, scrolling through your Spotify account, whatever it is, put it down.
And to get in touch with Christopher, here's 2 things you can do. You can call the number on screen, 377-9003. He has offices all over the area, Mount Airy and Winston and whatever. And also myallianceinsurance.com is the website for the radio listening audience, myallianceinsurance.com. Please check that out. And if you think you're all set, you got everything you need, you might still want to have your policy looked over. So give them a call. Christopher, thanks for doing this.
Appreciate you, Jim. Thank you so much.
Thanks for all you do for the community, too.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back after this. Scholarships that are awarded by the great firm of Crumley Roberts, attorneys at law. We have 2 lovely ladies with us today. They're going to tell us all about those scholarships and much more. On my right, we welcome back Kimberly Roberts, Vice President of Marketing and Brand Management for Crumley Roberts, and next to her, our good buddy Ruth Hyde, Executive Director of the Roberts Center. For those of you that missed one of our other episodes, we'll remind you what that is in a second, but I want to start with Kim first, and welcome, ladies. Good to see you.
It's great to be here.
Kim, we know that Crumley Roberts stands up for folks who need legal help, and that's, I mean, we see the commercials and all that stuff. But why is education so important to you and the firm? Because we're talking about scholarships today. Why is education so important?
Well, at Crumley Roberts, we believe that as long as you live, you should be learning, because we know education is the key to a happy, healthy, longer, and more successful life. And so, to that end, we have established the Roberts Center, which is led by Ruth Hyde as the Executive Director and by Corey Phillips as the Assistant Director. And the Roberts Center gives us an opportunity to expand those educational programs in a new and exciting way.
And how does that work exactly, Ruth?
Well, through the Roberts Center, we're able to grant scholarships to North Carolina seniors and scholarships to folks who are transferring from a community college to a four-year program. We also have our leadership programs in the greater Guilford County area and greater Mecklenburg County, where we're actually granting leadership seats to our classes, where Hank Heidenreich facilitates those classes.
Yeah, Hank's a good guy. Kim, some scholarships that you guys offer are through the Little Red Jumpsuit Foundation, I believe, too. And now, how does the foundation, what's that mission for the foundation, and what kind of scholarships are we talking about?
Well, the mission of Little Red Jumpsuit is to celebrate and encourage women, businesses, and community. And so we are really excited to be able to offer scholarships through the Roberts Center for Little Red Jumpsuit Tour. And most of that is funded by Crumley Roberts and also by the Red Effect Boutique, which I've talked about before.
Yeah, I want to give a big plug to that. The Red Effect Boutique, and people say, well, why are you plugging a boutique? And we talked about this before on the show. But you can answer this, because in a roundabout way, it's really helping the mission that you've been talking about with helping people in terms of education, scholarship, learning about healthcare, being healthy. So the boutique is located in, I think, Heron Village in High Point.
Yes.
And we'll put up a screen on that in just a second. But why is that important?
Well, you know, I started the Little Red Jumpsuit Tour several years ago with a great group of women, including Ruth. And it has been one of the great joys of my life to be able to work with such wonderful women. The scholarships, they're very exciting to me because it gives women and girls a next step moving forward. And so at the Red Effect Boutique, 20% of our profits go to fund the scholarships.
Wow.
And of course, Crumley Roberts and the Roberts Center have been a huge part of funding those scholarships also.
And Ruth, there's, you know, we can't get over all of it, but some of the scholarships are for high school seniors, some are for folks that might be in a community college that want to go to university. There's a varied number of
Yes, so you're going to have those great women across the community, and you're also going to have women who are serving and doing other things in the community that want to take that next step and want to potentially open up their own business, start their own nonprofit or organization, or just takes their lives and the women around them to the next level.
Absolutely. Up on screen, I want to show you a couple things. One is the redeffect.com, 887-0587. That's in the Heron Village. Please patronize that because of the money that goes to scholarships. And also crumleyroberts.com, and you can learn a lot about the services there. And this is all about empowering women, and we were fortunate to have two empowered women to help do this.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
We'll be right back. Back now on Triad Today, and I was thinking the other day, you know what I really like, and it's never happened before, is have two nurses seated next to me on Triad Today. It's never happened before, and you know what? Two of them walked in the studio a few minutes ago and sat right down. I want you to meet them right now. On my immediate right, Brittany One Savage, and next to her is Effie Davis. They are both plastic surgery certified registered nurses for Forsyth Plastic Surgery. Welcome, ladies. Good to see you.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Effie, I'm going to start with you, and Lori Bates, our director. I'm going to go down here and talk to Effie on the end first. Just give me a quick thing about what is a plastic surgery nurse so people understand.
Well, Jim, at Forsyth Plastic Surgery, a plastic surgery nurse is a nurse that's totally involved with our patients' experience. The minute you walk in our door, the doctor and nurse work hand in hand. We collaborate with the patient to decide what best services meet the patient's desires or their needs.
Right.
The nurse is responsible for collecting a complete medical and surgical history on the patient, so
Right.
we make sure that we have set up for a safe surgical experience.
And a lot of this goes on way beforehand too,
Oh,
and sort of getting ready for
exactly.
the
We
thing.
have a lot of homework to do beforehand.
Not to put you on the spot, but I'm just wondering, Daffy, is there special kind of training? Because seriously, we've had a lot of nurses on the show
Yes.
before, and they sort of pick different specialty areas and whatever. Did you have to do something extra? Was there special kind of training so that you can be in an OR operating room with a surgeon for plastic surgery purposes?
Right now, for site plastic surgery, we only have registered nurses. Most of us have our bachelor's in nursing. Some of us are board certified plastic surgery nurses, and we're all required to be advanced cardiac life support nurses.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Excuse me, certified, of which we renew every 2 years. But the most important thing that's really neat is our training is done in-house, one-on-one with our doctors in the OR. So we're trained as a team, and we work together very fluid because of that.
Great surgeons over there. Brittany, let me turn to you for a second. What's a typical day like for a plastic surgery nurse? I'm sure it's busy.
Very busy, but every day is different. Some days we will be with our doctor, my doctor's Leslie Branch, in the office seeing patients, or we could be in the OR and I could be scrubbed with her in surgery, whether that's in our surgical center on site or at one of the hospitals like Medical
And we've
Park.
had Leslie on before, Dr. Branch, and it's sort of, are you trying to be assigned to the same surgeon if you can so that there's that teamwork thing going on?
Yes. Every surgeon, and we have 5 surgeons, have their own nurse that's with them throughout the day, every day.
That's got to be good for the patient
Yeah,
too.
it's great for the patient. It's a continuity of care that I don't think patients can get anywhere else.
Yeah, and you two, the doctor and surgeon know and the nurse and know exactly what's going on, sort of know what each other's thinking. That's
We
cool.
do, yeah.
Effie, and I'm going to ask both of you this question. Let's start with you, Effie. What led you to a career in this specifically, in nursing and then in specifically going into this field?
Well, I had been an ICU nurse for many years and was looking to go out into a private practice sector, and was influenced by a cousin who's a plastic surgeon. And he said, go get some experience, and I did, and I was very blessed to land this job and
Wow.
work with Dr. John Fagg for
Well,
15 years. Yeah.
Dr. John Fagg, good friend
Yeah.
of ours, has been on the show too. Brittany, what about you? What led you, I'm going to say what, I could say who or what led you this way?
I actually started working at Forsyth Plastic Surgery in 2011 at the front desk, and I saw that the nurses were there like Effie who were working so hard. And
I remember you being there.
Yeah, so I was inspired by them. So I went back to nursing school, and now I've been working with Dr. Branch for about 1.5 years.
I thought you were going to say you were inspired by me coming in. But maybe so. Now, and final question to both of you, and just very quickly, I'm going to put you on the spot. What's the most gratifying thing about doing what you do, Effie?
Holistic care. We don't do just physical needs, their emotional needs, their spiritual needs. We have to encompass all that when we take care of our patients.
That's great. Brittany?
What Effie said, and also we get to see the whole picture from the very first visit when they're in the office to their procedure to the end result, and that's really nice.
All right, I just think you guys are great, and I appreciate what you're doing and for patients and everybody. Up on screen, I want people to check this out, www.forsythplasticsurgery.com. For the radio listening audience, forsythplasticsurgery.com. You can also call and make an appointment. The number on screen, 765-8620. To Brittany and Effie, keep up the good work, and thanks for everything you do.
Thank you.
Be right back after this. Right now on Triad Today, and it's just about time to do some spring cleaning. They say, well, Jim, why do I need to watch Triad Today to learn about spring cleaning? Well, the reason is because it's what you do with the things that you're cleaning out, the household items and things like that. And there's a gentleman seated next to me who's going to be happy to have those things that you clean out of your house. Here he is, our good buddy who's been here with us before. Dana Conti is Director of Donation Services for Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina. Good to have you back, sir.
It's great to be back.
Now, this spring cleaning theme, let's talk about this seriously. What kind of, you're looking for a lot of activity with people starting to say, hey, let's clean out the garage, let's clean out the closet. So you're going to have a lot of activity, right?
Yeah, so it's typical this time of year. Everyone's ready to replace their wardrobe and get new fresh goods in, and so it's an active time not only for the donations but also shopping opportunities at our stores.
Yeah. Now I want to ask you about this in particular. Are there items that you hope people will bring to the centers and donate? I mean, I know you'll take just about anything,
That's
but are
true.
there certain things you'd like?
It's kind of funny. Clothes. We can never have enough clothes, and people usually associate Goodwill with clothes, but textiles is what we really love. But we also certainly want housewares, kitchenwares, residential furniture, accessories. As you said,
there's not much we won't take as long as everything's in good condition.
Yeah, now you sent me a thing about a bulky item pickup. It looks like some kind of a partnership that Goodwill's doing with the city of Winston-Salem. What is that all about?
Correct. We're excited about that. We're kicking off an initiative this year with the city of Winston, where bulky items, residents can go to the city of Winston-Salem's bulky items page
Right.
and see what items are, and not only what items are eligible, but also what neighborhoods at what times these pickups are being conducted.
Right, and then they'll pick up that stuff, and then you guys even have your own trucks. It'll go
Yeah.
around sometimes if I say, hey, I've got this refrigerator, I've got this huge sofa, things you can't just drop off at the center, and you can take care of those too.
Exactly. So we have several resources with the home pickups throughout Forsyth County and beyond. Also, we have ADCs, our attended donation centers. Other trailers are sitting out in the community. They make it convenient for people to donate and receive their receipts, as well as a thank you from our folks.
Now, I want to always try to mention this because I think it's important that people, they're gracious to come and make these donations. And it's good for everybody. It's a win-win. But I want people to also to understand how important it is of what they're doing. Because if I come and drop off a bunch of clothes or some household items or a computer or something like this, you're going to do what with it?
Well, we transform those donations into revenue to fund our missions.
So you'll go to, you got retail stores.
That's right.
So then, somebody can go in there and say, I really need, a prom dress for my daughter, or I really need something else. And they go into these retail stores. Now, all of a sudden, you've got these items that good folks doing their spring cleaning
Yeah.
have put in there.
Exactly right. And what's funny, a lot of people associate Goodwill with an opportunity to purchase items at a reduced cost through our stores.
Sure.
And people think that's where the mission ends, but that's in fact where the mission begins.
Yeah, because the proceeds go where?
Right to the mission. So and our mission is to put people to work.
Yeah.
We're a hand-up organization, so it takes a lot of resources to get people back on their feet. So with the revenues that we generate off that, it provides a wider scope of mission services and adds depth to those mission services.
And we've had, ever since the big recession, we continue to have, periods of time where people get laid off or maybe they're looking to start a new career, and you've got all sorts of career connection centers
Right.
and places where you can help people get back into the workforce. Hey, I don't know how to work with a computer. You've got places you can help them get ready for their resumes, do job fairs.
Absolutely.
You guys just do so much for the community, but it all kind of goes back to what we're talking about here.
Absolutely. It all starts with that simple donation. And,
Yeah.
and that's the magic, truthfully.
See, I just want people to understand that
Yeah.
it may, folks at home, it may seem like, hey, I'm just dropping off some things at Goodwill, but it really makes a difference. Up on screen, goodwillnwnc.org is the website. I hope you'll check that out, and also remember the bulky items pickup that we mentioned. Dana, thanks for all you do.
Appreciate all you do. Thanks so much.
All right, sir.
It's great to see you.
We'll be right back after this. All right, now I'll try it today. Before we get to the roundtable, I just wanted to hold up the Yes Weekly. Hope you'll pick up your copy. It's called Wonder Women of the Triad. I have an article in there about Wonder Women who appeared on Triad Today. So I hope you'll look at that. All right, speaking of wonderful people, on my right, but always the political left, Ogie Overman, the great broadcaster journalist. Next to him, the lovely, talented Carol Andrews, who is now officially a member of the ABC 45 My 48 family. As an on-air personality, she'll be taping all sorts of interviews. And let's hear it for Carol. Yeah.
What a great idea.
And I understand you're going to be doing public speaking, so as you go out in the public, I'm sure you'll tell them to watch Triad Today.
All the time.
Okay, good. Okay. So there we got that straight.
Hang
now-
around permanently and get rid of Keith.
No, we can't get rid of him.
What in the world?
Golly. And then Keith Granberry bringing up the rear. Keith was once served as Donald Trump's fixer many years ago. Founder of Helping Hands Consultants. All right, let's get to a serious topic here. North Carolina lawmakers have introduced a bill that would allow schools to screen little students for signs of mental illness to determine early on if they're at risk of harming themselves or others. You okay with school-based mental health screenings, Ogie?
I think if they determine that I don't think it should be across the board, but if a kid is exhibiting some kind of behavior that raises red flags, probably a good idea, actually.
Carol?
I think it depends on who's doing the screening. I think otherwise we have the same problem that we have with ADD, ADHD, where someone just comes up and says, I think that's what they have, and it's a bad diagnosis.
Maybe too subjective. You have to be careful. Keith?
Well, I think taking advice from Aileen, who's in the studio, I think you cannot do that because they start targeting young people.
Right.
And they start targeting certain young people.
But what if you're talking to a little kid who's 7 years old and say, "How you doing today, Johnny?" He says, "Fine. I just tortured a rabbit." Well, you're going to know something's wrong, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, you can't. In today's society, especially poor schools, you start targeting kids. That's a very dangerous slope.
Okay, speaking of state legislators, many of them want to return Guilford County School Board elections to being nonpartisan like they used to be. Good idea, quickly, Okie.
I think it's a great idea. It never should have been changed in the first place, and you know who's responsible for that.
I do.
Trudy Wade.
Well, she's gone. All right, now, Carol.
I don't think nonpartisan works because you still know the parties. So
If
I
you're
don't know that
informed,
it
you know who they
matters.
are.
Yeah, I
Keith.
don't think it matters.
I think even if you say nonpartisan, they're still partisan.
All right.
Yeah, so I don't think it works.
Meanwhile, the Virginia General Assembly has given the go-ahead for Danville, which is right nearby to us, Bristol, and Portsmouth to hold referendums on casino gambling. I think they'll hold them early next year. Would you like to see our state legislature allow casino gambling here in the Piedmont Triad, and would that ever happen, Ogie?
You know what we need to do? I've been saying it for years, pari-mutuel wagering.
Yeah?
That's an economic development plan that creates jobs. Casino gambling is just throwing money away. Don't like it. Don't
All right,
like it.
Carol.
I don't know that I am for it, mainly because we did things like the education lottery and our schools are still suffering. So I just...
Keith.
I think if there's something in it where it can give money to schools or a certain roads and things like that, I'm for it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Danville calculated they'll get like $20 million in extra revenue a year, and they need $150 million worth of work on their schools, so it could work out good for certain
Absolutely.
districts. Jen, very quickly, Jen Mangrum, a nice lady, a professor at UNCG, has worked out an arrangement so she can run for superintendent of public instruction and continue to teach. Not about her situation, but in general, very quickly, guys and gals, do you think it's okay for public employees to do this? And if they do, should they just take unpaid leave when they run for office? Quickly, Ogie.
Well, she's going to keep doing her job.
Right.
So that should not interfere. I'd have no problem, especially with her. I mean, I love her.
She's a nice lady. Okay, Carol.
Yeah, if she is still working, then I think she should be paid to work. Otherwise, if she's not working and most of her time is away, then it needs to be an unpaid leave.
As long as she's still doing her job, I think it's okay. You know, people are moving towards staying at home anyway, working, so there's a lot of different variables anyway.
Presidential candidate Kamala Harris wants to decriminalize prostitution. Are you okay with that, Ogie?
I think anything would be better than what we got now. If you kind of follow the Amsterdam model where it's regulated, they're tested for diseases, and they're, you get the pimps out of the equation.
Right.
It's probably not a bad idea.
Make taxes off of it, Carol.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan, but I think
Not a fan
I
of
think
what?
there
Kamala
should,
Harris or prostitution?
No. The decriminalizing prostitution, I think we ought to expand who actually is getting in trouble because of prostitution. It shouldn't just be the prostitute.
Okay, Keith.
Prostitution is prostitution. You're selling young women or men. There's always going to be somebody controlling it, legally or illegally. I think that's a crazy idea.
Meanwhile, a former female campaign worker is suing Donald Trump because she says he kissed her right on the edge of the lips without permission. I'm no fan of Donald Trump, but very quickly, guys and gals, are we going too far to say something like that is sexual assault, Ogie?
Semantics, I don't know. I'm sure if Trump had anything to do with it, it was wrong.
Well,
it
probably
was
so.
bad.
Carol.
Of course, that's what you
I
think.
know.
But I
right,
think we've
Karen.
gone. I think we've gone a little too far.
Keith.
It's gone way too far. I mean, she should have said something when he kissed her on the lips. Does she have a job now?
I don't know.
Think about it.
I don't know what her job
All of
is.
a sudden now, he's
And
the president, and
yeah,
he kissed on the lips.
Too late now.
Too late.
Finally, an Oregon man says he and his dog survived in the wilderness for 5 days by eating nothing but packets of Taco Bell taco sauce. Guys and gals, could you survive for 5 days on nothing but taco sauce? Ogie.
That'd be tough. I thought the story. I saw the story. I thought he was going to say ate the dog.
Oh, no. Well, unless he put
I
the
guess
taco
that's
sauce
better
on
than
the-
eating the dog. Yeah.
Carol?
I think you can survive on a lot of things, and I just wonder about the folks that had to pick them up.
Keith.
I think he's lying. That's what he's doing. He put those taco sauce on some berries and something else, but he just didn't eat taco
But
sauce.
what we
he
do
is
know
lying.
is, Carol does not want to get in the car with him.
Not
Well,
at
that's
all.
all the time we have, except for this. A Chinese company has created a life-size robot that will randomly kiss women. The robot's name is R2 Me Too. See, there's a Me Too movement going against it.
Very good.
All right, for all of us here and Carol, who's going to be everywhere, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.